Tom, I have a question for you. You see my rod is here. I brought it back in, and it has the reel and a Psycho on it. But I have a question for you. I've fished.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah. I've fished for 60 years, really. And I've always used a tip flex rod. And I knew that that's the rod for me. I like the power in the butt. And you and I talked for weeks and here together, and you said, Dave, go over there, take this reel and just try this out. How did you know that would end up to be what I wanted?
Selling anything to a person can be a very simple task if they know what they want. Many times when they come into a tackle shop like this, they think they know what they want, but actually they don't know because they've not tested all of everything that we have available to them. But through my conversation with them, I can see their facial smiles and effects, and they're telling me about the love of the way this rod felt or this felt or so-and-so, and I can come up and form a very, very accurate opinion of which one of my product line they would like to have. And if a person comes in and they're adamant about a series of rods, I have no problem with that. They know what they want. But you need to test everything that's on the market today. We have wonderful, wonderful pieces of equipment. They all cast wonderfully, but many times when we're fishing, we're not catching trout. We're casting, we're walking along the stream, we're looking at the beauty of the area and just enjoying life. And it's kind of unique. One of my great experiences in trout fishing is casting. I love to cast. And there are days when I'm out walking and casting, and actually catching trout takes a very second seat. There's other days that I'm focused, and I go out and I have no idea what the difference is. One day I'll be extremely focused. The next day I'll be out there wondering about the environment that trout live in, especially here in the Northeast. And it's a beautiful area. The little freestone canyons are all beautiful in the fall, this time of year. But it gets back, I think, I'm near 70. I started fishing my first Orvis rods in the late 60s. I love the company. They treated me wonderfully, very trusting company, and I thought, wow, if I ever sell equipment, I'm going to do Orvis. One of their original rods was called a Superfine. They had a wonderful series of rods. They were full flex, low modulus graphite rods. A little heavy by today's standards, but incredibly enjoyable fishing rods. They might not have won a local beauty contest. They might not have...
Wait a minute. Watch what you say about my rod and reel there.
That's right. We don't want to ridicule it because actually they are beautiful rods. They do have the scar on them. It has not been sanded out. Actually, I like that. That seems like a pretty neat benefit to me. They're a little heavier than some of our other rods, but the flex and the feel and just the smoothness of cast and presentation of these is beyond everything you're saying.
Yes, and with that rod, that Psycho or stimulator, whatever it is riding the waves, and when that comes up, I always have a positive set. I mean, even though it's a full flex.
You have to learn how to set a hook on a slow action rod, and many people will say, oh, I don't like they're too hard to hook fish with. You have to pull too hard. You don't have to pull hard. You flip your wrist.
Yes.
In a nanosecond, we can have the rod tip 4 feet off the ground, and in 1 nanosecond, it's 9 feet off the ground.
Yes.
That moved a lot of line. It set the hook. It's much faster than trying to move your arm back to set it. You just simply jerk your hand back, flip your wrist, the fish is hooked. And the neat thing about a full flex rod, you feel the fish, and I don't care if he's 5 inches long or 18 inches long, you feel the fish. They're fun to play fish on. They're just wonderful fun. You can kind of not grab the rod up here and pull, but you can kind of turn the rod over and move and kind of guide the rod with your left hand. get their head turned to the bank or whichever bank you're trying to lead them into, or even lead them away from a snag that's out in the river. You know, maybe a root system on the far side that you're trying to guide him away from that.
Yes.
And they're delicate enough, you can move his head and actually get him going in a different direction without a lot of energy. So today's superfine touches remind me of the old rods that I used to fish in the late 60s and 70s. Like I said, they're lighter today, but they have the same nice scar on them from the wraps. They're beautiful, and they are considerably lighter.
You're right, and when I hook one with that, I feel every wiggle, every turn, and to me that means that the rod is picking up that shock from every turn, and I'm less apt to lose the fish because of a hook slip.
Absolutely.
And when you combine it, I mean, you hit it with that hydros.
Yep. As the fish is shaking his head, this rod is absorbing every one of those shakes.
Yes.
If you have the proper size tippet on, the tippet is stretching a little bit each time, protecting your knots so your knots don't break. Your rod is bending, protecting your whole system. It's a great fishing outfit. It's not for everyone. A lot of us older people that grew up on the old 9-foot 7-weight cane rods that weighed 5 to 6 ounces, very soft, slinky actions. They have a full flex feel like that, but they're much lighter and a lot more delicate,
Yes.
and they don't vibrate.
Yes.
So when the tip puts your line out, they don't sit out there and vibrate and put lots of curls into
Yes.
your line that's going through the air. So they cast very smoothly. It's an incredible piece of equipment.
And you had me take 2 different reels, and I love the Hydros large arbor because I can easily take up my slack,
Gathers
and
line
the drag systems is wonderful,
Yep.
and also
It's a closed, sealed drag. So if you do occasionally dunk your reel while you're landing a fish or down on your knees doing something with a fish, getting them off the hook, if your reel does get in the water, it's a sealed drag system. It's not going to end up dirty. So they work. The large arbor actually is a lot easier to start the drag than it is on a small arbored reel, especially as you get closer and closer to the center of the arbor. It's more and more difficult to start that drag system, and you can lose a fish. But between the large arbor and the flex of this rod and today's great tippets, you just simply lose very few fish if you're calm fishing.
And you were smart. You had me try 2 lines, and that with the full flex, I find the 3D, I can cast wherever I want to, and that 3D is an accurate. You combine that with that rod, and
it's a wonderful line. I'm very proud of our new lines, the Hydros lines. I'm tickled to death with their quality. And I have to say I'm amazed at how the 3D is grabbing the sails. Some of us older people, kind of go towards the older, smooth lines. We don't want to hear vibration. We don't want to hear our lines going through the guides. We don't want to feel it vibrating. But the 3D has dealt with all those issues, and you still have a longer casting line for any given amount of energy that you put into it. You will achieve a longer cast with less effort. So,
wonderful outfit.
They float. So the whole thing is this is a wonderful, and I smile. I say fishing outfit, because that's what we're doing. Whether we're landing fish or whether we're fishing, the whole event is enjoyable. And on a fishless day, you can come back and just love being out on the stream.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much.
And for us older gentlemen, the orange backing, what an incredible contrast with an olive dun line, the orange backing on a gold reel.
Yes.
I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. And I never thought of
Did I hear you say gorgeous? What was that about a beauty contest?
Well, to me it does look gorgeous.
Yes,
It's wonderful.
I agree too. It's just, thank you so much for helping me decide.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I'm glad to have done that. It's fun.
Spectacular.
Thank you.